Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So today in this particular video I am going to discuss about the mathematical equation of multivariate Gaussian distribution, which is going to help us in the understanding of some other machine learning algorithms which are dependent on Gaussian distribution, like Gaussian mixture model, one of the very popular technique in clustering or unsupervised machine learning, which I am going to cover in my upcoming videos. Okay, so this multivariate Gaussian distribution we have already used in anomaly detection technique, which I have already covered with visualization and mathematical intuition in my previous video. So if you know that particular concept, surely this particular video will be easy for you to understand. And believe me, this concept, whatever related to mathematics I am going to discuss, is surely going to help you in understanding or visualizing the stories of Gaussian mixture model. Okay, so I have told you that suppose I am having two-dimensional data where two random variables are x1 and x2, then if we want to get the Gaussian distribution of that, if x1 and x2 are independent, I have told you f of x1 x2, that is probability of x1 x2 is equal to probability of x1 multiplied by probability of x2. Now consider x1 and x2 as random variable, and suppose they are coming from Gaussian distribution. Okay, so put the formula. What it will be? Suppose for x1 random variable, mean is mu1 and standard deviation is sigma 1. For x2 random variable, mean is mu2, standard deviation is sigma 2. Then no doubt the equation is going to be 1 by root over of 2 pi sigma 1 square multiplied by e to the power minus of half x1 minus mu1 by sigma 1 whole square multiplied by 1 by root over of 2 pi sigma 2 square multiplied by e to the power minus half multiplied by x2 minus mu2 by sigma 2 whole square. Right, now what we will be doing, we will be taking this exponent term together and this 1 by root over of 2 pi sigma 1 square and 1 by root over of 2 pi sigma 2 square together, and we will be getting this one. Simple. What I have done, see here, root over 2 pi is here, similarly root over 2 pi present here also, so we can write like this, root over of 2 pi square, that can be written like 2 pi to the power 2 by 2. Power 2 is coming because of square, by 2 is coming because of square root, as simple as that. And then here sigma 1 square and sigma 2 square are there, both inside root over, so we can write like this, sigma 1 square multiplied by sigma 2 square to the power half. Then here what we can do in the exponential, in the power of exponential, we can basically take minus of half common and we can write like this. Now in the next step what we can do, we can simply take LCM of this particular coefficient. Okay, and we will be getting e to the power minus of half sigma 1 square multiplied by sigma 2 square, and this particular term will be getting after doing LCM, because sigma 2 square will come with this term, sigma 1 square will come with this term, and we will be getting sigma 2 square multiplied by x1 minus mu1 whole square plus sigma 1 square multiplied by x2 minus mu2 whole square. Okay, right, simple. And this term I have just directly taken from here. Now in the next step what I am going to do, that I am going to arrange this particular power term like this way. See here something I have written, just see whether this particular power term and this term are same or not. What I have done, minus half, here minus half is there, here 1 by sigma 1 square multiplied by sigma 2 square I have taken in the middle. Okay, and this particular term I have splitted like two matrix. Here one matrix is there and here one matrix is there. You just do matrix multiplication and check whether you are getting same result or not. x1 minus mu1 multiplied by sigma 2 square into x1 minus mu1. So you will be getting sigma 2 square multiplied by x1 minus mu1 whole square. That is this particular first term. Okay, plus x2 minus mu2 multiplied by sigma 1 square multiplied by x2 minus mu2. That is plus sigma 1 square multiplied by x2 minus mu2 whole square. That's why present here, plus sigma 1 square multiplied by x2 minus mu2 whole square. Okay, there is a reason to arrange like this. I'll be discussing after some time, it will be clear to you. Okay, right, now see here how the pattern is, sigma 2 square multiplied by x1 minus mu1 and here sigma 1 square multiplied by x2 minus mu2. This particular matrix I can split like this. Okay, see this side I am keeping as it is, no change. Here 1 by sigma 1 square sigma 2 square is there, here also it is coming. Here this particular single matrix I am splitting like this two. check whether these two matrix multiplication giving this or not. See, sigma 2 square multiplied by x1 minus mu1, which is the first term. Next term will be sigma 1 square multiplied by x2 minus mu2, that is the second term. As simple as that. Okay, now see, what is this particular one? Why I am splitting the simple equation like this kind of matrix notation? Try to understand. If you recall, covariance matrix, which I already covered in the videos of our data science and machine learning using MATLAB, while discussing initial stage of this particular playlist, I discussed covariance matrix and its intuition. What is the covariance matrix? That is, if covariance matrix is denoted by the summation symbol, that is equal to sigma 1 square. Diagonally it will be variance, right? Sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, like that. And here it will be basically covariance. So this will be sigma 1 2 and this will be sigma 2 1. Now I have told you already here x1 and x2 are not dependent. Okay, x1 and x2 are basically what? Independent random variable. So basically the covariance matrix will be a diagonal matrix. The sigma 1 to sigma 2 1 will be 0. So I have done that one only. Okay, right. Now see, here what is there? 1 by sigma 1 square multiplied by sigma 2 square, and here sigma 2 square 0 0 sigma 1 square, and our covariance matrix is sigma 1 square 0 0 sigma 2 square. If you just try to understand with respect to matrix, that is, if you take the inverse of this covariance matrix, that is nothing but this particular part, 1 by sigma 1 square sigma 2 square 0 0 sigma 1 square. That is what you do. This 2 cross 2 matrix is there, you just take inverse, you should get this particular one, which is basically indicating inverse of covariance matrix. Okay, right? Simple. So instead of this particular term 1 by sigma 1 square sigma 2 square and this matrix, I can write if the summation inverse, that is covariance matrix inverse. x1 minus mu1 x2 minus mu2 putting as it is, minus half coming as it is, and this one x1 minus mu1 x2 minus mu2 I just taken transpose and written like this. Simple. Okay, now this one sigma 1 square multiplied by sigma 2 square to the power 1 by 2. What is this? This is nothing but determinant of covariance matrix. If you just check, this is the summation, which is our covariance matrix. What is the determinant? Sigma 1 square multiplied by sigma 2 square. Okay, so instead of sigma 1 square sigma 2 square, we can replace with covariance matrix. So this is covariance matrix square root. Okay, so the new equation looks like this. Now instead of representing like this, let us consider capital X, which is a vector. Okay, first element is x1 random variable, second element is x2 random variable, and mu, this new mu as a mean vector, which is having mu1, that is mean of our x1 random variable as first element, mu2, that is mean of our x2 random variable as second element. Then we can replace in this equation like this way. Okay, so what is f of x1 comma x2? That is multivariate Gaussian distribution equation is 1 by 2 pi determinant of covariance matrix, then that square root multiplied by e to the power minus half capital X. What is capital X? x1 x2 minus of mu is mean vector, that is this particular one, transpose multiplied by covariance matrix inverse multiplied by our x vector minus mean vector. Okay, so this is the equation which you should get a feeling, because this equation is going to help us in understanding the Gaussian mixture model in a very simple manner. Again I am repeating, this capital X is x1 x2, this mu is mean vector mu1 comma mu2, and this summation, this is covariance matrix sigma 1 square sigma 2 square diagonal element, and this is 0 0 because I have told you x1 and x2 are not dependent on each other, independent. That's why these elements are coming, the rest of the elements apart from diagonal elements are coming 0, right? This is the property of covariance matrix. Now if x1 and x2 are dependent, you will be having some values in these parts also. So how we can represent this particular multivariate Gaussian distribution? That is important. The mathematical notation for univariate was probability. How we have written univariate Gaussian distribution, that is P of probability of x, then semicolon, here mean comma sigma, right? Sigma notation I am not giving, so like this we have written, right? Now from the next time onwards, when we will be discussing about multivariate Gaussian distribution, we will be writing like this: P of x semicolon mu comma summation, which is indicating covariance matrix. Because we are considering multi-dimension case, so we should consider covariance matrix. Okay, so now let's see how the this multivariate Gaussian distribution will look like by changing the mean and SD. Let's visualize that. Okay, so here is my first code. The code is very simple: CLC clear all, close all, warning off, taking mean vector, taking sigma. Like here I am considering x2 and x1 are independent, so apart from diagonal all elements are 0. Okay, then I am creating 1 2D grid. Okay, this particular one I have used several times in explaining the decision surface or decision boundary of different machine learning algorithms, right? Then MVNPDF is basically multi-dimension multivariate normal distribution probability density function it generates. Okay, you can explore more from documentation. We are passing the x and y values, or we can say x1 and x2 random variable, then mean, that is their mean, and sigma. Okay, then reshaping and then plotting that with surface plot. Okay, and we also want to see the two-dimensional plot. Okay, that's why I am giving p color as well, and title is sigma 1. Okay, so let's check that. Let me run this particular part and do evaluate selection. It will be taking some time, but we can easily understand how the multivariate Gaussian distribution will look like. Okay, so see, this is our sigma 1. Okay, so here if we check from top view, at the center part the probability is maximum, that's why yellow. As we are going towards the boundary, probability keep on decreasing, smoothly it is decreasing. Okay, now let's change the some parameter. Suppose I am changing sigma. Okay, so maybe for x1 I am taking 0.6, for x2 also 0.6, that is sigma decreased. So if sigma decreased, what will happen? This particular Gaussian distribution will come down very steeply. Okay, very quickly it will come down. Okay, this slope will be very steeper. So if I just run the whole code, okay, what it will look like, we can easily compare. I have not changed mean, I have only changed the sigma. I have changed by same amount so that it will become symmetric, and we can easily visualize those. Okay, so see here, this particular graph is coming down very quickly. Here peak is going up to 0.3 for sigma equal to 0.6, but here for sigma 1 it is going up to only 0.15, and it is going down smoothly. But here how fast it is going down, right? We can easily understand from 0.3 it is going down. And if you want to understand in a better way, you can check this graph. See, this particular circular area is now shrinked. Okay, that is where probability is more. That particular area is shrinked in this particular case compared to this one. Okay, maybe I can change by unequal amount. Maybe I can keep the second variance as 1, first variance as 0.6 to observe. Let me change it more. Maybe 0.1 sigma let me do for 1, and for rest 1 let me keep 1, so that we can easily understand how it is changing. So basically what will happen in along x1 direction, it will become very thin curve, and in x2 it will be original distribution. Like now I hope you can understand. See, sigma equal to 0.6, actually title is wrong, title I kept as it is earlier, no issue. So here you can see that here probability is going down in all direction by symmetrically, but here what is happening, here along, see here x1 and x2, along x2 it is having like more flattened version, but along x1 it is shrinking very quickly. Okay, because along x1 we have decreased the standard deviation, so along x1 we shrinked the curve. Okay, so the probability distribution will look like this, that is yellow part is more probability, and here in this up down side it is decreasing like smoothly, but in this left right side it is decreasing very quickly, right? Now maybe we can see shifting of mean. So what we do here in this particular code, I am keeping sigma as 0.11, mean as 0.0, and in this particular one I am using changing the first mean as 0.7. Okay, let me keep this sigma as it is, and if we just run, just to make you understand or get the feeling of multivariate Gaussian distribution, I am just changing the parameters and showing you. There is nothing other concept, main concept I hope you have getting. So now what is happening? The center location of the peak is shifted. How it is shifted? See, I just changed what? Mean to 0.7. Okay, for x1 it is shifted to 0.7. So now you can see that earlier this center of the peak was coming at 0, but now y, that is along x2 it is 0, but along x1 it is shifted towards the right hand side. Okay, that is 0.7 will be center, and from this graph also we can see that it is shifted towards right hand side. Now let us see how maybe this particular code we can check. Now we have checked the effect of changing standard deviation and mean. Now this time let us try to understand if the x1 and x2 variable are not independent, that time these coefficients will not be 0, which we considered 0 here, right? So maybe let us check first positive case. Okay, so x1 and x2 are positively correlated, suppose. Okay, then the covariance will also be positive, right? So I am taking some positive values like this way, right? So what is the expectation? Expectation will be simple like this way. What is happening here? If x1 increasing, the probability of x2 also increasing. Okay, so our center point is actually 0, 0. See, at 0, 0 if we start, if x1 goes high, that is x2 is also trying to keep it high. If x1 goes low, x2 is also trying to keep it low, and not in this direction. Okay, the pattern is not followed in this direction, it is following this direction only. You can see here the effect. Now suppose I am reversing the sign, suppose x1 and x2, these two variables are negatively correlated. Simple, what will happen, that this particular graph will be rotated in the from top left to bottom right. Okay, that's it. So this is how you can play with this multivariate Gaussian, nothing else. So now see, the graph looks like this. Again from center, if x1 increasing, x2 decreasing, if x1 decreasing, x2 increasing, like that pattern it is trying to follow. So this is nothing but contour plot, and this is our surface plot. That's it. Just I played with the variables, that is mean and sigma, and I tried to show you different distribution, and the main function which is working is MVN-PDF. Okay, so you can explore from the documentation about this function in detail. So I hope the concept of multivariate Gaussian distribution is clear to you. Next time in my upcoming video, if I am directly using this particular equation to explain you that this is multivariate Gaussian distribution, you should understand it. Okay, P of x comma mu comma this particular summation. So that time you should understand that, okay, so this is for a probability of the x with respect to mu, where mu, and this is basically our covariance matrix. Mu is mean and this is our covariance matrix. Okay, so I hope the picture is clear to you. This is all for this video. Thank you.